Hey, what's up, family? Got a very informative one for a lot of youth out there or a lot of anybody out there that's looking for inspiration. Something to really make you think about your inspiration. So therefore, I'm going to title this one, Who Do You Know? You get it? Think about what I'm saying. Who do you know? Think about it. Who's around you? Who are the people that is influencing you around you? So therefore, who do you know? You get what I'm saying? Think about this. Look at this. Do you realize the average kid grows up in a neighborhood where all he sees is he or she, for example, he sees the neighbor goes to work early in the morning, come home and dog tired. Who do you know? He sees the other neighbor up the street. Oh, he's a truck driver. Yeah, he makes good money. He comes home, he's exhausted, or he's barely home. You know, or he sees around the corner up the street, oh yeah, I see Johnny up the street, yeah, he's a mechanic. I mean, these are jobs that make money, and some of them make great money, but on the most commonly, they're dog-tired jobs that just work people to where it's say, I'm exhausted every day. Look at the little young girl, right? What does she see? Oh, I see Mary that lives up the street. She's a nurse. You realize in a lot of neighborhoods, all these girls want to be nurses. And then you find out, wait a minute, I was 5 years old when she was a nurse. Now I'm 10 years old. Now she works at the grocery store. Who do you know? You know what I'm saying? It's like you need to have someone around you that's better than you, that can help you become just as great as them or greater than them. So therefore, once again, I'm going to keep saying this because I want it to resonate in your head. Who do you know? Now, some people have fortunate to have some people in their families. There's a very few of us who have people in their family that are, people love to say lawyers and doctors, like that's the only thing to be successful. I actually don't like that. I hate that actually. But let's just say you do got some families out there that their uncle, father, grandfather is a lawyer, is a doctor. See, now they have some type of inspiration, motivation. Let's just say you that kid that don't have that, right? Because there's a number of things. It can have an uncle, father, grandmother, auntie that's an engineer, whatever the case. Who do you know? Because if you have these type of things around you, these are going to be the things that inspire and motivate you. But if you don't have these things around you, that does not mean that you got to submit to being a failure. No. What that means is that you got to think outside the box. You get what I'm saying? That means, let's just say you're the average kid where people in your family just go to work every day, come home, and it's the same old monotonous thing constantly. It's like, wow, man, it's the same old thing over and over, man. My aunt, my uncle, my father, whoever, they've been working since I was a kid, and they look exhausted all the time. Okay, you have no inspiration? Ask your father, ask your aunt. Do simple things, like I said, think outside the box. Ask them one day, hey, Dad, could I come with you to your job? Now, this may not be a bring your child to work day, but you can ask your father, hey, Dad, could you ask your boss if I can meet them? See? Think outside the box. Because if your father did that simple thing for you, you want to meet my boss. Why you want to meet my boss? Now, if he was to go and ask the boy, hey, my son said he would like to meet you. He just would like to talk to you about something. Maybe it's an essay at the school. Maybe it's an essay he want to do for himself. Maybe he's looking for some type of inspiration. Trust me, it goes back to a saying I've always said to my daughters. Put people on the hook. See, that will make them have to be responsible and be accountable. See, now if you ask your father to ask his boss if he can meet him, guess what? That's going to make his boss go, wow, why your son want to meet me? Wow, well, he think I'm that important that he got to meet me? See, now the boss is going to be looking forward to wanting to say something inspiring to that young man, to that young girl. See what I'm saying?
You know, babe, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's amazing how you come up with these conversations. Because I'm standing here videotaping you, and it amazes me how it's true. I never thought of it like that.
Like thinking of yourself. Who do you know?
I have never thought, I never had an inspiration in my life ever since I was little. I always seen my father work.
That's all you see.
Just work, but I never had anyone to say, you know, I want to be like them.
All right, now check this out. I wrote this one down.
Babe.
Speaking about what you just asked me, I wrote this one down. Oh, feel like I want to sneeze. Excuse me, y'all. This is the real sad part about expectation. This is sad, and we got to break these chains. Now check this out. If your expectations for your child is low, then the outcome for success for them will be low. See?
Exactly.
See? If your expectations for your child is very low, then what do you expect? His success is going to be low. For example, I heard stuff like this all the time when I was a kid, or when I was with some of my friends or my cousins or whatever growing up. Our parents would say the most, not realizing, inadvertently hurtful, low expectation things to us. Say stuff like this here. You know what? Long as that boy just stay off, don't get on my daggone nerves. Long as he don't get on my nerves, he's okay. Long as he just stay over there, just don't get on my damn nerves.
That is so true.
So you're telling me all you expect of your son or your daughter is to not get on your nerves and that's enough? That's not good. Check this out, I'm gonna keep going. Long as she just get a job and stay out of my hair. That's all you expect of her, just to get a job, just any old job, huh? Just any old job. That's ridiculous. How about this one? You know what, that boy just be driving me crazy? Long as he just stay out of trouble. If he just stay out of trouble, then it'll be fine. Long as he just stay out of trouble. See, your expectations for them are very low, so therefore, the life, their success, I'm messing up my words here. Their expectations for success is going to be low because you're giving them low expectations. So therefore, what that kid needs to do sometimes think outside of the box. Now, I got a number of things to speak about. Let's talk about me, for example. I remember when I was a teenager. Some of y'all know this song, some of y'all don't. It was an old song by Pete Rock and CL Smooth called When They Reminisce Over You, My God. It was a scene. That was a lovely rap song. But believe it or not, it's amazing how some things and some words captivate some people, may not captivate others. It was a verse in that song where he said like this. He said something like this. He said, living my life because I had no choice or run my own business like my Aunt Joyce. And they showed his Aunt Joyce business she had. She had a salon business where it said Aunt Joyce or whatever. Like I said, I was a teenager when that song came out. But the whole song was amazing. But I always remember that verse. And I remember as a teenager looking like, oh, that's amazing. His aunt owns a business? Wow. See, like I said, some people that went over their head, but to me it stuck. And it was stuff like that that made me get into real estate way back in the days. Cause I said, yo, I want to own something. Pete Rock, CL Smooth inspired me with the real estate stuff. I was like, I want to own something. Know why? Because nobody in my family owned nothing. Nobody in my family inspired me. Nobody in my family was doing nothing that was very productive to make me go, I want to be like my aunt. I want to be like my uncle. I want to be like my grandfather. A lot of times those people weren't in my life anyway. So a lot of y'all out there may know exactly what I'm saying. You can identify what I'm saying. I can identify what you're saying. That's why it's sticking. But sometimes you got to hear from a different person to get a different perspective. Let me tell you something about expectations. Check this out. Here go another one for a lot of you athletes out there. You ever realize you may be a really great basketball player? We could do any sport, but I'm gonna do basketball right now, right? We're talking about expectations. Who do you know? Think about it. You might be a good basketball player. Do you ever realize, as good as you are, you ever realize when you playing a person that's just as good as you, if not better than you, because you always want to play somebody that's better than you. Do you realize you play a hell of a game when you playing somebody that's just as good as you, if not better than you? And if anybody's watching y'all two play, they're like, man, they going shot for shot. Man, they going skill for skill. Man, that was a hell of a game they put on, man. Them two jokers was nice, right? But you ever notice also, as good as you may be, when you play that other player who's not as good as you, he's actually crappy. Do you realize you start playing down to their skills? It happens inadvertently to us. So it comes back to, like I said, who do you know? Because now, as good as you know you are, you playing against a competitor that's not good at all. And now you missing the ball, fumbling the ball, missing the dribble. You let them steal it from you. You're like, what the heck? I'm playing like crap. Because you're playing to your expectations. You're playing against somebody that you playing to their expectations. So you playing down and you trying to break that. Like, man, this guy got me playing like I'm crap. When I know I'm not crap. And you gotta break it. You gotta, no, I gotta get away from this nonsense, man. This guy, I don't play like this. See, these things happen all the time. You got so much talent and people out there, whereas You might want to be a comedian, right? You might want to be an actor. Is it any actors in your family? Any comedians in your family? Anybody in your family that's on TV or whatever the case, you might want to do that. But if you ain't around that, you don't know how to attain that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you right back to, like I said, who do you know? I remember it was an old movie. One of my favorite comedians, Richard Pryor. It was a scene in his movie called JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. It was a sad scene. He was at the dinner table, and his father said to him, so look, boy, find out what you're going to do with yourself, boy. And he's like, yeah, Dad. He was so nervous and scared of his father. He said, yeah, because all his father do is just work, and exhausted and look angry all the time. And he was like, I don't want to be like that. My dad just working himself to death. So he said, what you going to do with yourself, boy? And Richard was so scared to tell his father what he wanted to do. And he said, speak up, boy. Tell me what you want to do with yourself, boy. Because you ain't going to be sitting around this damn house doing nothing, boy. So then he said, yeah, Daddy, I got a job down at the club. He said, down at the club? He said, yeah, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be a comedian. He's like, a comedian? Boy, what the hell, a comedian? He said, yeah, I'm gonna tell jokes and make people laugh. And his father got up, bah, punched him right in the mouth.
Wow.
True, like you said, it was based on a true story. Now that's sad. Whereas his father didn't see his vision. As we all know, Richard wound up being one of the funniest comedians in history. But his father didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, gratefully for Richard, he didn't submit to his father and just go get a regular job. No, he followed his dream and became great at it. So that's why I say, once again, who do you know? If you don't got nobody around you to inspire you to be greater than who you are, just as great as they are, if not greater than them, then look for that person. Ask to go speak to your family member's boss. They make time for you, trust me. They love doing stuff like that. But you gotta open your mouth. Remember, it's an old saying that goes, a squeaky wheel gets oil. So if you don't speak up, you don't get the help. That's why I said a squeaky wheel gets oil. Look at the neighbor in your neighborhood, the one that you assume is doing well for themselves. Take time to speak to that neighbor and say, hey, I'd like to know, what do you do for a living? That's going to put them on a hook. They want to explain to you. They want to try to help you out, maybe. They want to brag on themselves by explaining to you. This may inspire you, like I said with that song. When he said, living my life because I had no choice of run my own business like my Aunt Joyce. Man, I'm telling you, I was just a teenager, but it caught me, captivated me when he said that rhyme. I said, man, all the other stuff he was saying, that was the one thing that stuck. I said, his aunt had a business. Most of us never seen that growing up. Somebody in your family owns a business. Somebody in your family's an actor. Somebody in your family's a professional whatever. So if we don't have that, we don't know how to obtain and go get that. So what I'm saying to you is break outside the box. Ask to speak to your parents' boss if they can make time to speak to them so they can speak to you. That person you seen at the mall, you gotta open your mouth. Remember, squeaky wheel gets oil. You see somebody that's living a life that you think is amazing, take time to speak to them and say, hey man, tell me how you was able to obtain what you got. I like to do what you're doing. Whatever it is you're doing, could you encourage me, inspire me, and show me the ropes of what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? It could be a number of things. So that's why I will keep saying, who do you know? Because a lot of us, we see a lot of negativity in our lives. And if that's all you're seeing, it's a shame. It's a repeated circle. There's a high probability you're gonna follow suit to what's around you. All you know is negative, and there's a good chance. You gotta break that cycle. Break it. Get away from that and say, no. I want a little bit better for myself. I don't want to be just doing the same thing. It's a sad thing when you see, as a kid, the older lady or woman in your neighborhood, in your family, working a job. Now it's 20, 30 years later, you 40, 50 years old, and that same older person that you seen working as a kid, they still working. They 60, 70 years old, and they look exhausted. See? You gotta say, Remember, another saying I always say, you can learn from anybody, even from a negative person. You know what you learn from a negative person? What not to do. And that will help you do better. So, once again, who do you know? Meaning, who inspired you? Who could inspire you? You need to get a grab of somebody who is better than you, can teach you to be just as great as them, or if not better. So, once again, who do you know? Think about what I'm saying. And on that note, subscribe, share, like, and comment. Peace.